The elephant in the brain. Uncovering the hidden motives behind our behavior. Written by Mindsmore. Have you ever felt a nagging sense that there's more to life than meets the eye? A whisper in the back of your mind suggesting that your actions, your beliefs, even your deepest desires, are influenced by forces beyond your conscious awareness. Like a hidden puppeteer pulling at the strings of your subconscious, these unseen forces shape your perceptions, guide your choices, and ultimately determine the trajectory of your life. This book is your invitation to a journey of self-discovery, an exploration into the depths of the human psyche, where we'll uncover the hidden motives that drive our behavior and challenge the assumptions we hold about ourselves and the world around us. Prepare to delve into the realm of the elephant in the brain, those uncomfortable truths, those inconvenient realities, those hidden agendas that we often choose to ignore. Why an elephant? Because just like an elephant in a room, these truths are often massive, their presence undeniable, yet we collectively pretend they don't exist. We tiptoe around them, avert our gaze, and engage in elaborate mental gymnastics to avoid confronting the messy, complex reality of our inner worlds. But these elephants, these hidden truths, don't simply disappear because we choose to ignore them. They linger in the shadows of our minds, casting a long shadow over our lives, hindering our growth, and preventing us from living authentically. This book is your guide to facing those elephants, to acknowledging their presence, and to understanding the profound impact they have on our lives. It's a journey of self-reflection, a process of peeling back the layers of self-deception, social conditioning, and cultural expectations to reveal the authentic self that lies beneath. Prepare to challenge your assumptions, to question your beliefs, and to confront the uncomfortable truths that you've been avoiding. This is not a journey for the faint of heart, but it is a journey that will empower you to live a more conscious, intentional, and fulfilling life. Throughout these pages, we'll explore the fascinating interplay between rationality and emotion, the powerful influence of social forces, and the subtle ways in which culture shapes our perceptions and behaviors. We'll delve into the art of self-deception, the burden of expectation, and the transformative power of vulnerability. We'll uncover the hidden motives that drive our actions in relationships, the paradox of choice that plagues our decision-making, and the elusive pursuit of happiness. We'll discover how to cultivate intentionality, transform insight into action, and create a life that is aligned with our authentic selves. This is not just a book to be read, it's a journey to be embarked upon. It's an invitation to explore the depths of your own mind, to challenge your assumptions, and to embrace the messy, beautiful complexity of the human experience. So, are you ready to face the elephant in the brain? Are you ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery that will transform your life? If so, turn the page and let the adventure begin. Thanks for your support in helping us to produce more content for you. We appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Chapter 1. The masks we wear, facades in the social stage. We humans are intricate beings, aren't we? Like actors on a grand stage, we don meticulously crafted facades, each designed to project a specific image to the world. These masks, these carefully curated personas, are the tools we use to navigate the intricate dance of social interaction. Think about it. The polished professional you present at work, the jovial friend you are at a party, the attentive listener you become during a heart-to-heart. Each of these roles requires a different mask, a subtle shift in behavior and expression to fit the occasion. Why do we do this? Why the charade? Well, the answer lies deep within our evolutionary wiring. You see, belonging to a group has always been essential for survival. Our ancestors, huddled around fires for warmth and protection, understood that acceptance within the tribe was crucial. Rejection meant isolation, vulnerability, and ultimately, a decreased chance of survival. Fast forward to today, and that primal fear of rejection still lingers within us. We crave connection, yearn for approval, and fear the judgment that comes with exposing our true selves. So we construct these facades, these carefully constructed illusions, to shield our vulnerabilities and present a palatable version of ourselves to the world. We smile when we want to scream, we nod in agreement when we vehemently disagree, and we pretend to be interested when we're utterly bored. It's a performance, a delicate balancing act, where we strive to project an image that will garner acceptance and avoid the sting of disapproval. But here's the catch: these masks, while offering a sense of security, can also become cages. They can trap us in a cycle of pretense, preventing us from experiencing genuine connection and living authentically. The more we hide behind these facades, the more we distance ourselves from our true selves, and the deeper the chasm between our inner world and the image we project. Think of social media, the ultimate platform for curated perfection. We scroll through endless feeds of filtered photos, witty captions, and seemingly flawless lives. It's a breeding ground for comparison, envy, and self-doubt. We start to question our own worth, wondering why our lives don't measure up to the carefully constructed realities we see online. The pressure to conform, to project an image of success and happiness, can be immense, leading us further down the path of self-deception. But what if we dared to shed these masks? What if we embraced our imperfections, our quirks, and the messy, beautiful truth of who we are? Imagine the freedom that comes with letting go of pretense, the relief of no longer having to maintain a carefully constructed facade. It's a scary thought, isn't it? To step out from behind the curtain and reveal the real you, vulnerabilities and all. Yet it's in those moments of vulnerability, those raw and honest glimpses into our true selves, that genuine connection blossoms. When we dare to be authentic, we give others permission to do the same. We create a space for genuine interaction, where empathy and understanding can flourish. It's a risk, yes, but the rewards can be immeasurable. So how do we start? How do we begin to peel back these layers of pretense and step into the light of authenticity? It starts with awareness. Take a moment to reflect on the different masks you wear. What situations trigger them? What are you hoping to achieve by putting on that particular facade? Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-discovery, allowing you to explore your motivations and identify the patterns of behavior that keep you trapped in a cycle of pretense. Remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There will be moments of doubt, times when the fear of rejection threatens to pull you back into the shadows. But with each step you take towards authenticity, you'll discover a newfound sense of freedom and a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. The masks we wear may offer a temporary illusion of safety, but true liberation lies in the courage to be vulnerable, to embrace our imperfections, and to step onto the social stage as our authentic selves. It's time to shed the masks and let your true self shine. Chapter 2: The Stories We Tell Ourselves, Narrative and Justification. We humans are natural storytellers. It's woven into the very fabric of our being. From the cave paintings of our ancestors to the endless stream of narratives that fill our books, movies, and social media feeds, we are constantly weaving tales to make sense of the world around us. But what about the stories we tell ourselves? The internal narratives that shape our identity, justify our actions, and color our perception of reality. These personal narratives are powerful forces, shaping our beliefs and influencing our decisions in ways we often fail to recognize. We are the protagonists of our own stories, and like any good storyteller, we tend to cast ourselves in a favorable light. We highlight our triumphs, downplay our failures, and craft a narrative that presents us as rational, competent, and in control. Think about it. Have you ever made a questionable decision, only to later rationalize it with a carefully constructed story that paints you in a more positive light? Perhaps you stayed in a dead-end job for years, telling yourself it was the responsible thing to do, even though your soul was slowly withering away. Or maybe you ended a relationship, convincing yourself it was for the best, even though your heart ached with longing. We are masters of justification, adept at weaving narratives that align with our desired self-image. We cherry-pick memories, reinterpret events, and even rewrite history to fit the story we want to believe. It's a form of self-deception, a way to protect our egos and maintain a comfortable illusion of control. But this illusion of control can be a dangerous trap. It can prevent us from learning from our mistakes, acknowledging our vulnerabilities, and embracing the messy, unpredictable nature of life. We cling to these narratives, these carefully constructed justifications, because they offer a sense of security in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming. The truth is, we are not always as rational or in control as we like to believe. Our brains are wired with cognitive biases, mental shortcuts that distort our perception of reality. Hindsight bias, for example, leads us to believe that past events were more predictable than they actually were. We look back on our choices with the clarity of hindsight, forgetting the uncertainty and doubt that clouded our judgment at the time. This can create a false sense of confidence, leading us to believe that we are masters of our own destiny, when, in reality, chance and circumstance often play a significant role. So how do we break free from these self-deceptive narratives? How do we become more honest with ourselves and embrace the full complexity of our experiences? It starts with awareness. Start paying attention to the stories you tell yourself. Are you exaggerating your accomplishments or downplaying your failures? Are you selectively remembering events to fit a particular narrative? Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-reflection. Try writing about a past event without the filter of justification. Capture the raw emotions you felt at the time, acknowledge your uncertainties, and resist the urge to rewrite history. This exercise can help you develop a more honest and nuanced understanding of your own experiences. Another helpful technique is to challenge your assumptions. When you find yourself crafting a narrative to justify a decision, ask yourself if there might be other, less flattering explanations. Are you truly acting out of logic and reason? Or are you motivated by fear, insecurity, or the desire for approval? Remember, this is not about self-criticism. It's about self-discovery. By becoming more aware of the stories we tell ourselves, we can gain a deeper understanding of our motivations, challenge our biases, and make more conscious choices. It's about embracing the full spectrum of our experiences, the good, the bad, and the messy, and recognizing that our imperfections are what make us human. The stories we tell ourselves are powerful forces, shaping our identity and influencing our decisions. But they are not set in stone. We have the power to rewrite our narratives, to challenge our assumptions, and to embrace a more honest and authentic version of ourselves. It's time to step out of the shadows of self-deception and into the light of truth. Chapter 3. The Social Mirror. Feedback and Conformity. We are social creatures, intrinsically bound to the intricate web of human connection. From the moment we enter this world, we are surrounded by a chorus of voices, opinions, and expectations that shape our perception of reality. This social feedback, like a mirror, reflects back to us not only our actions but also the underlying beliefs and assumptions we hold. It's a constant feedback loop, a dynamic interplay between our inner world and the external forces that shape our identity. Think about the last time you shared something personal with a friend, a creative project, or a vulnerable confession. How did their reaction affect you? Did their words uplift and encourage you, or did their criticism leave you feeling deflated and discouraged? This feedback, whether positive or negative, provides valuable insights into how our actions and beliefs are perceived by others. It can challenge our assumptions, broaden our perspectives, and ultimately guide us towards growth and self-discovery. But social feedback is not just about individual interactions. It also encompasses the broader societal norms and expectations that permeate our culture. From a young age, we are subtly indoctrinated into the unwritten rules of behavior, the unspoken codes of conduct that dictate what is considered acceptable and unacceptable in our society. We learn to conform, to adapt our behavior to fit in with the crowd, often at the expense of our individuality. This pressure to conform can be incredibly powerful, influencing our choices in ways we may not even realize. We choose our clothes, our careers, and even our beliefs based on what is considered normal or acceptable by the society around us. We strive to fit in, to avoid the discomfort of standing out, even if it means suppressing our true selves. Social media has amplified this pressure to conform. We are constantly bombarded with images of perfect lives, ideal bodies, and successful careers. This curated reality can distort our perception of what is normal, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. We start to compare ourselves to others, judge ourselves harshly, and strive to achieve an unattainable ideal. But what if we dared to break free from this cycle of conformity? What if we embraced our individuality, our unique quirks and perspectives, and challenged the societal norms that limit our potential? It's a scary thought, isn't it? To step outside the box, to risk the judgment of others, and to forge our own path. Yet it's in those moments of nonconformity, those acts of rebellion against the status quo, that we truly discover who we are. When we dare to be different, to express our authentic selves, we create a ripple effect that can inspire others to do the same. We challenge the narrow definitions of normal and create space for diversity and individuality to flourish. Remember, true belonging is not about fitting in, it's about being accepted for who you are, quirks and all. It's about finding your tribe, the people who celebrate your individuality and encourage you to be your authentic self. These are the connections that truly matter, the relationships that nourish your soul and empower you to live a life true to yourself. So how do we break free from the shackles of conformity? It starts with awareness. Start paying attention to the subtle ways in which societal norms influence your thoughts and behaviors. Question your assumptions, challenge your beliefs, and explore alternative perspectives. Engage in conversations with people from diverse backgrounds, and be open to learning from their experiences. Cultivate your critical thinking skills. Don't blindly accept everything you are told or everything you see on social media. Question the narratives that are presented to you, and seek out information from a variety of sources. The more you question, the more you will discover your own unique voice and perspective. Remember, this is not about rejecting society altogether. It's about finding a balance between honoring your cultural heritage and embracing your individuality. It's about respecting the values and traditions that have shaped you, while also allowing yourself the freedom to explore new ideas and forge your own path. The social mirror can be a powerful tool for self-discovery, reflecting back to us our strengths, weaknesses, and the impact we have on others. But it's important to remember that the reflection is not always accurate. It can be distorted by societal biases, cultural norms, and the pressure to conform. By cultivating awareness, challenging assumptions, and embracing our individuality, we can break free from the limitations of the social mirror and step into the light of our authentic selves. Chapter 4. Beneath the Surface. Unmasking Our Desires. We are driven by desires, a complex tapestry of wants and needs that shape our choices, fuel our ambitions, and ultimately define our journey through life. These desires, however, are not always straightforward or easily understood. They often lie hidden beneath layers of social conditioning, cultural expectations, and even our own self-deceptions. Unmasking these desires, delving into the depths of our motivations, is a journey of self-discovery that can lead to profound insights and a more authentic existence. Think about the things you strive for in life. Is it wealth, status, love, or perhaps a sense of purpose? These aspirations, while seemingly diverse, often stem from deeper, more fundamental needs. The desire for wealth, for example, might be rooted in a need for security or a yearning for freedom. The pursuit of status could be driven by a need for validation or a desire to belong. Our desires are not static, they evolve and transform as we navigate the complexities of life. What we yearn for in our youth may differ significantly from the aspirations we hold in our later years. The key is to remain curious, to continually explore the ever-changing landscape of our desires, and to understand the underlying motivations that drive our choices. But unmasking our desires is not always easy. We often encounter unconscious biases, deeply ingrained prejudices that influence our perceptions and decisions without our conscious awareness. These biases, shaped by our upbringing, cultural background, and personal experiences can lead us to favor certain people or ideas while dismissing others, often based on superficial judgments. Imagine, for instance, that you're interviewing candidates for a job. You might find yourself drawn to individuals who share your background or beliefs, unconsciously overlooking equally qualified candidates who are different from you. Or perhaps you're at a social gathering, and you find yourself gravitating towards people who fit a certain stereotype, while avoiding those who seem different or unfamiliar. These unconscious biases can perpetuate inequality, limit our opportunities, and prevent us from forming meaningful connections with people from diverse backgrounds. Recognizing and challenging these biases is crucial for creating a more just and inclusive society. Another powerful force that shapes our desires is the drive for validation. We crave approval, seek recognition, and yearn for the affirmation of others. This desire for validation can be a powerful motivator, driving us to achieve great things. But it can also lead us down a path of self-doubt and insecurity, where our happiness becomes dependent on the opinions of others. Think about the last time you posted something on social media. Did you find yourself anxiously checking for likes and comments, seeking the approval of your online community? Or perhaps you spent hours crafting the perfect profile picture, hoping to project an image that would garner admiration and envy. This pursuit of validation can be exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling. It can lead us to make choices that are not aligned with our true selves, simply to please others or gain their approval. It can also create a sense of emptiness, where our self-worth becomes dependent on external factors rather than internal fulfillment. So how do we break free from the tyranny of external validation? How do we cultivate a sense of self-worth that is independent of the opinions of others? It starts with self-acceptance. Embrace your strengths and weaknesses, your quirks and imperfections. Recognize that you are worthy of love and belonging, regardless of what others may think. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. Forgive yourself for your mistakes and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. Cultivate your passions. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, regardless of whether they will impress others or gain their approval. The more you connect with your authentic self, the less you will need the validation of others. Unmasking our desires is a journey of self-discovery, a process of peeling back the layers of social conditioning, cultural expectations, and self-deception to reveal the true motivations that drive our choices. It's about understanding the forces that shape our aspirations, challenging our biases, and cultivating a sense of self-worth that is independent of external validation. Chapter 5. The Elephant Metaphor, Facing the Uncomfortable. Imagine this: you're at a dinner party, engaging in polite conversation, the aroma of roasted garlic and rosemary filling the air. Everyone seems at ease, laughter mingling with the clinking of glasses. Yet there's an undeniable tension in the room, a palpable awkwardness that no one dares to address. Why? Because there's a giant elephant standing in the middle of the room, its presence impossible to ignore. Yet everyone pretends it's not there. This, my friends, is the essence of the elephant metaphor. It represents those uncomfortable truths, those glaring issues, those inconvenient realities that we collectively choose to ignore. These elephants can take many forms: a family secret that everyone pretends doesn't exist, a toxic relationship that no one wants to confront, or even those deep-seated insecurities that we keep buried beneath layers of self-deception. Just like the elephant in the room, these truths are often massive, their presence casting a long shadow over our lives. They can be the source of anxiety, conflict, and even deep-seated shame. Yet we avoid them, tiptoeing around their edges, pretending they don't exist, because facing them would require us to step outside our comfort zones, challenge our beliefs, and confront the messy reality of our lives. Denial, that masterful art of self-deception, becomes our coping mechanism. We convince ourselves that if we ignore the elephant, it will magically disappear. We bury our heads in the sand, hoping that if we don't acknowledge the problem, it will cease to exist. But denial is a fragile shield, a temporary reprieve from the inevitable confrontation with reality. The truth is, those elephants don't just vanish into thin air. They linger in the shadows of our minds, casting a pall over our lives, hindering our growth, and preventing us from living authentically. The longer we avoid them, the larger they loom, their presence becoming an oppressive force that stifles our joy and suffocates our potential. But what if we dared to confront these elephants? What if we mustered the courage to acknowledge their presence, to examine them closely, and to understand the truths they hold? It's a daunting prospect, isn't it? To face our fears, our insecurities, and the uncomfortable realities that we've been so diligently avoiding. Yet it's in those moments of confrontation, those acts of courageous self-reflection, that true liberation lies. When we dare to face our elephants, we reclaim our power. We break free from the shackles of denial and step into the light of truth. It's a journey of self-discovery, a process of peeling back the layers of self-deception to reveal the authentic self that lies beneath. Confronting our elephants is not about judgment or self-criticism. It's about understanding. It's about acknowledging the complexities of our lives, the messy, imperfect truths that make us who we are. It's about embracing our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our insecurities, and recognizing that these are not weaknesses but rather opportunities for growth and transformation. So how do we begin this journey of confrontation? Start by identifying your elephants. What are those uncomfortable truths that you've been avoiding? What are those issues that you've been sweeping under the rug? Write them down, give them a name, and acknowledge their presence in your life. Next, create a safe space for self-reflection. Find a quiet corner, light a candle, and allow yourself to delve into the depths of your emotions. Explore the reasons why you've been avoiding these truths. What fears are holding you back? What beliefs are you protecting? Remember, this is not a race. Take your time, be gentle with yourself, and allow the process to unfold naturally. There may be tears, there may be anger, and there may be moments of intense discomfort. But through it all, remember that you are not alone. We all have our elephants, those hidden truths that we struggle to confront. The journey of facing our elephants is not easy, but it is essential for living an authentic and fulfilling life. It's about reclaiming our power, embracing our truth, and stepping into the light of self-acceptance. It's about recognizing that those elephants, those uncomfortable truths, are not our enemies but rather opportunities for growth, transformation, and ultimately liberation. Chapter 6. Rationality versus Emotion, the Inner Tug of War. We like to think of ourselves as rational beings, don't we? Logical, analytical, making decisions based on facts and evidence. But the truth is, our minds are a constant battleground, a swirling vortex where rationality and emotion wrestle for control. It's a tug of war that plays out in every decision we make, every interaction we have, and every step we take on our life's journey. Rationality, that calm and collected voice of reason, guides us with logic and strategy. It analyzes the pros and cons, weighs the risks and rewards, and urges us to make choices that align with our long-term goals. It's the voice that tells us to save for retirement, to eat our vegetables, and to avoid that extra glass of wine. But then there's emotion, that wild and unpredictable force that surges through our veins, coloring our perceptions and influencing our choices in ways we often fail to recognize. It's the voice that whispers, just one more slice of cake, or go ahead, book that impulsive trip to Bali. It's the force that draws us to certain people, ignites our passions, and fuels our creativity. This inner tug of war is not a weakness. It's a fundamental part of the human experience. It's what makes us complex, nuanced, and capable of both profound love and calculated ambition. The key is to find a balance, to recognize the value of both rationality and emotion, and to allow them to work in harmony rather than constant conflict. Emotional intelligence, that ability to understand and manage our emotions, becomes our compass in this intricate dance. It allows us to recognize the signals our emotions are sending, to decipher the messages they hold, and to use that information to make more informed decisions. It's about understanding not only our own emotions, but also the emotions of others, fostering empathy, compassion, and deeper connections. Think about the last time you made a major decision. Did you rely solely on logic and reason, or did you also consider your gut feelings, your intuition, and the emotional impact of your choice? Perhaps you were offered a promotion that would require you to relocate, leaving behind your family and friends. Rationality might have urged you to accept the offer, citing the financial benefits and career advancement opportunities. But what about the emotional cost? The loneliness, the homesickness, the strain on your relationships. Ignoring these emotional signals can lead to decisions that, while logically sound, leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. It's about finding a balance, recognizing that our emotions are not merely distractions but valuable sources of information that can guide us towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. But what happens when we encounter mixed signals? When our emotions and rationality seem to be at odds with each other? Perhaps you're considering a new relationship, and while your mind tells you that this person is kind, intelligent, and compatible, your heart whispers a note of caution. Or maybe you're contemplating a career change, and while the logical part of you urges you to stay in your comfortable, well-paying job, your soul yearns for something more meaningful and fulfilling. These mixed signals can be confusing and frustrating, leaving us feeling lost and uncertain. The key is to create space for reflection, to allow both our emotions and rationality to have their say, and to listen carefully to the messages they hold. Journaling can be a powerful tool in this process, allowing us to explore our conflicting feelings, identify the root of our anxieties, and gain clarity on what truly matters to us. Developing emotional intelligence is a lifelong journey, a process of continuous self-discovery and growth. It's about learning to recognize and manage our emotions, to cultivate empathy and compassion, and to make choices that align with our values and aspirations. Chapter 7. The Cultural Lens: How Traditions Shape Us. We are born into cultures, intricate tapestries woven from shared values, beliefs, and traditions that shape our worldview and influence our behavior in profound ways. These cultural inheritances, passed down through generations, become the lens through which we perceive the world, guiding our choices, shaping our aspirations, and ultimately defining our sense of identity. Think about the rituals and customs that mark your life. The holidays you celebrate, the foods you eat, the way you greet your elders, and the stories you tell around the dinner table. These traditions, seemingly mundane, carry deep cultural significance, connecting us to our ancestors, our communities, and the shared history that defines who we are. Culture is not just a set of rules or customs. It's a living, breathing entity that evolves and adapts over time. It's influenced by geography, history, religion, and countless other factors, creating a rich and diverse tapestry of human experience. From the collectivist societies of the East, where the emphasis is on community and harmony, to the individualistic cultures of the West, where personal freedom and self-expression are paramount, each culture offers a unique perspective on what it means to be human. These cultural differences can be both fascinating and challenging. They can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and even prejudice. But they can also enrich our lives, broaden our perspectives, and deepen our understanding of the human experience. By embracing cultural diversity, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities, a kaleidoscope of perspectives that can challenge our assumptions and expand our horizons. But culture is not just an external force. It's also deeply ingrained within us. It shapes our values, our beliefs, and our sense of self. The stories we hear as children, the role models we admire, and the social norms we internalize all contribute to the formation of our cultural identity. This internalization of cultural norms can be both empowering and limiting. It can provide us with a sense of belonging, a framework for understanding the world, and a set of values to guide our choices. But it can also lead to conformity, a suppression of our individuality, and a reluctance to challenge the status quo. The tension between personal beliefs and cultural norms can be a source of internal conflict. We may find ourselves questioning the traditions we were raised with, challenging the expectations of our families and communities, and seeking a path that aligns with our authentic selves. This journey of self-discovery can be both exhilarating and daunting, requiring courage, resilience, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Technology has played a significant role in shaping and accelerating cultural evolution. Globalization and digital communication have connected people from all corners of the globe, facilitating cultural exchange and creating a melting pot of ideas and perspectives. This interconnectedness can lead to greater understanding and tolerance, but it can also create challenges as cultures clash and traditions are challenged. So how do we navigate this complex cultural landscape? How do we honor our heritage while also embracing our individuality? It starts with awareness. Reflect on the cultural values and norms that have shaped you. Which ones resonate with you? Which ones do you question or challenge? Engage in open and honest conversations with your family, friends, and community members about your beliefs and experiences. Embrace cultural diversity. Seek out opportunities to learn about different cultures, travel to new places, and connect with people from diverse backgrounds. The more you expose yourself to different perspectives, the more you will understand the richness and complexity of the human experience. Cultivate your critical thinking skills. Don't blindly accept everything you are told or everything you see on social media. Question the narratives that are presented to you and seek out information from a variety of sources. The more you question, the more you will develop your own unique perspective and worldview. Remember, culture is not a static entity. It's a dynamic process of evolution and adaptation. We are all active participants in shaping the culture we live in. By embracing our individuality, challenging outdated norms, and celebrating diversity, we can create a more inclusive and vibrant cultural landscape for ourselves and future generations. Chapter 8. The Art of Self-Deception, Recognizing the Lies We Tell. We humans are masters of illusion, aren't we? Not just the smoke and mirrors kind, but the illusions we weave within our own minds. We are experts at self-deception, crafting elaborate narratives, and employing subtle tricks to shield ourselves from uncomfortable truths. It's a defense mechanism, a way to protect our fragile egos and maintain a comfortable, albeit often distorted, view of reality. Think about it. How often do you find yourself rationalizing a bad habit, justifying a questionable decision, or downplaying a glaring flaw? We tell ourselves that we'll start that diet tomorrow, that we're too busy to pursue our passions, or that our procrastination is just a quirky personality trait. We convince ourselves that we're content with our lives, even as a nagging sense of dissatisfaction lingers in the background. These are the subtle whispers of self-deception, the lies we tell ourselves to avoid confronting the uncomfortable truth. We become masters of denial, pushing aside inconvenient facts, ignoring red flags, and selectively remembering events to fit the narrative we want to believe. It's like wearing rose-tinted glasses, filtering out the harsh realities of life and painting a picture that is more palatable to our delicate sensibilities. But self-deception is a double-edged sword. While it may offer temporary comfort and protect us from emotional discomfort, it can also hinder our growth, sabotage our relationships, and prevent us from living authentically. The more we indulge in self-deception, the deeper we sink into a quagmire of illusion, losing touch with our true selves and the reality around us. One of the most common techniques of self-deception is rationalization. We excel at inventing plausible excuses for our behavior, even when deep down, we know the real reasons are less flattering. We might blame our lack of exercise on a busy schedule, our unhealthy eating habits on stress, or our procrastination on a lack of motivation, conveniently overlooking the underlying fear, laziness, or lack of discipline that truly fuels these behaviors. Another powerful tool in our self-deception arsenal is minimization. We downplay the significance of our mistakes, our flaws, and our negative emotions. We tell ourselves that it's not a big deal, everyone does it. Or it could be worse, effectively diminishing the impact of our actions and avoiding the responsibility that comes with acknowledging our shortcomings. And then there's projection, that masterful art of deflecting blame by attributing our own undesirable qualities to others. We criticize others for being judgmental when we ourselves are harboring secret prejudices. We accuse others of being dishonest when we ourselves are struggling with integrity. Projection allows us to maintain a positive self-image while conveniently overlooking our own flaws and shortcomings. But perhaps the most insidious form of self-deception is when the lies we tell ourselves become so ingrained, so deeply embedded in our subconscious, that we begin to believe them as truth. We construct an elaborate facade, a carefully curated persona that we present to the world, and eventually even we start to believe in the illusion. This can lead to a profound disconnect between our true selves and the image we project, creating a sense of emptiness and inauthenticity that permeates our lives. We may achieve great success, accumulate material possessions, and garner the admiration of others, yet still feel a nagging sense of dissatisfaction, a yearning for something more genuine and fulfilling. Breaking free from this cycle of self-deception requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths that we've been so diligently avoiding. It's about peeling back the layers of illusion, challenging our assumptions, and embracing the full complexity of our human experience. Start by cultivating self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. Notice the patterns of self-deception that emerge. Are you constantly making excuses for yourself? Are you downplaying your mistakes? Are you projecting your own insecurities onto others? Challenge your narratives. When you find yourself rationalizing a behavior or minimizing a flaw, ask yourself if there might be other, less flattering explanations. Be honest with yourself, even if it's uncomfortable. The truth may sting at first, but it will ultimately set you free. Embrace vulnerability. Allow yourself to be seen, flaws and all. Share your struggles, your fears, and your imperfections with trusted friends and loved ones. Vulnerability creates connection, fosters empathy, and allows us to heal and grow.